With September here, Contingency Contract 0 is approaching, and with that, one of the most sought-after units in the game as well. I just hope you're not as in-game broke after trying to get Chiave as I am. Different than the last original banner, where it was absolutely fantastic if you needed casters or just arts damage in general, this one has a much larger variety of units. The first single block Vanguard 6-star, a new AoE Sniper 5-star to keep Meteorite company, and Budget Halliger, who saw what an incredible husbando he was and knew she had to blow it out of the park in waifu stats. Although, to be fair, while with Chiave's banner, there was a large chance that you'd actually get a unit who does arts damage with a single 10 roll, with this one there's no exact guarantee on what you'll get. If you want a specific unit on this banner instead of a specific type of unit, you should probably go in with the mindset that you'll have to do more than just a single 10 roll in order to get exactly what you want. Unless you're like me, blew almost all of your Runham and Arknight Prime trying to get Chiave, only have enough for one 10 roll now and didn't even get her. Why don't I just continue to save up instead? I'll get to that in a sec.
こんちは、ドクター。あたしはUtage。オペレーターにはまだ成り立てほやほやだけどね。趣味は、そこまで言わなくていい？そっか。じゃ、今日からよろしくね。
Utage. That's the reason why. Since she's a 4-star, there's a much higher probability that she can actually come home within very few rolls, and I'm absolutely going to try. Like Halliger, she can't be healed by other units, and instead heals herself each time she attacks. 30 HP at E0, 50 at E1, and 70 at E2. That might not be all too much since she doesn't have a passive heal like her 6-star counterpart, but her HP going down can be seen as a good thing when looking at her talents. The more HP she loses, the quicker she attacks. Her attack speed isn't even long in the first place, so with this, she'll be an absolute beast. Although this talent synergizes much more with her second skill than her first. The first one makes up for the fact that she doesn't have a passive heal, and she'll be recovering 8% of her max HP every second for 8 seconds. That might not seem like much, but you have to take into consideration that Utage has really high HP. At E160, it's 2,583, 8% of that is 206. And after 8 seconds, that ends up being 1,653, which is over half of her health. You can use this ability every 15 seconds, so needless to say, her not being able to be healed by others is no problem at all. It also increases her defense by 160%, which is also really nice. But there is a demerit. While using this skill, she won't attack, or more importantly, block any enemies. This ends up being quite a downfall, as usually you'd use this type of unit to solo a lane, but how can you solo if you're not even blocking? To be fair, the skill only lasts 8 seconds, so it's not too big of a problem, but just make sure to start it up when there are no enemies coming. Her second skill, however, makes her more of a unit that you'd be deploying than retreating as soon as the skill ends. It's a passive that makes her start off with only half of her HP, but she has an extra 80% attack and deals arts damage instead. Keep in mind that with her talent, this will also increase her attack speed by either 75 or 100 based on if she's at E1 or E2. This makes her more of a solo delay unit instead of a pure solo or someone that you'd place adjacent to a tanker to help with damage output. When you see an enemy who has ridiculously high defense, you can deploy Utage before they get close to your other units and she can chunk off a large amount of their HP. You'd be using this in a similar way as Skadi's second skill, or Project Red and Waifu's first ones, except without the fast redeploy part, of course. All that isn't even taking into consideration how good she looks. Mostly muted color palette except for some highlights, thigh highs, oversized shirt, hair clips. She's just a top tier waifu for me. Although Halliger and Utage share the same archetype, she has a completely different niche and is 100% worth getting even if you already have him.
んたの探し物を知ってるぜ。ロードスのドクターさんよ。そう、あんたが渇望しているのは真実と強さだ。そしてこの俺様ことシェーシャがあんたにその力を与えおいやめろ、追い出さないでくれ。本気で給食に来たんだよ。
If you're a fan of the edgy demon boy aesthetic, Sesa is the husbando for you. Based on pure stats alone, he doesn't deal as much damage as Meteorite, but is a bit meatier. But that's not really a problem while looking at his skills. While Meteorite specializes in bursts of damage, Sesa more so just increases his attack power in general. His talents already help him and any other physical damage dealers do more damage in general, as all blocked enemies receive 7 to 14% more physical damage when he's deployed. His first skill, surprise surprise, is a simple attack up by 60% for 30 seconds. Going back to his competitor, while she'll be doing 1 really hard hit every 4 hits, he'll be doing 10 pretty hard hits every 35 seconds. Whichever one of those is better is more up to you and what you prefer. It's not a bad skill by any stretch of the imagination, it's just an oversaturated skill that way too many operators have, and for someone with such a slow attack interval, it really isn't the best. His second skill, on the other hand, is really nice. For 27 seconds, his attacks will change to firing a time-delayed grenade that deals 210% of his attack, and makes the target's attack slower for 3 seconds. I don't know how delayed these grenades are, but his attack interval does remain the same. That means for 9 attacks, he will have a huge attack boost, with the bonus of saving your allies from taking some damage, as enemies won't be attacking them as fast. If you do have a Meteorite already, rolling for him still wouldn't be a bad idea because they have very different niches, especially if you think your roster could use more husbandos. If you're saving for W and can only spare 1 10 roll, in that case, I'd say you should probably skip this banner because of him, since there's a large chance that he could be the one to come for the guaranteed 5-star that comes within the first 10 pulls. And she kind of does power creep him. Once again, this doesn't matter if he's a husbando. In that case, you should definitely pull.
Konnichiwa! おめえさんがドクターだべ？ロンメンのチェンケイ氏からここでは助っ人が見つかると聞きまして。まずはサイン？バクパイプっと、よし。オペレーター契約？前日滞在？なんだべこれ！
Bagpipe is an operator that I've been hearing about ever since... Wait, no, that's not her? Oh, sorry, let me start again. Bagpipe is an operator... What? That's still not her? Oh, this time I'll fix it for real. Bagpipe is an operator that I've been hearing about ever since she first came out on CN, and that's for a good reason. For a Vanguard, her damage output is really good, but that doesn't really matter because if Nino is best girl to you or Coco is your favorite VTuber, you're pretty much legally obligated to roll for Bagpipe. Her talent is already a pretty good one, as there's a 25% chance to increase her attack to 110% and attack an additional target. While 25% isn't all too much and relying on RNG is never a good thing, it's safe to say that every 4 attacks, there's a possibility that one of them will end up being this talent. Her second talent gives all Vanguards an extra 6 initial SP, which is quite useful since you want to use Vanguard skills pretty often so you can generate more DP. Bagpipe's first skill takes the usual attack buff and adds attack speed to it as well. While these attack up skills usually go up to 60%, at level 7 hers only goes up to 34%, since it also does buff her attack speed. There's not much to say about this skill, it's fairly unremarkable, but still good. Her second skill, however, is really nice. Every 5 seconds, her attack will be increased to 160%, or technically 320%, since each time she uses this skill, she'll be attacking an extra time. As a single blocker, it's important for her to kill whatever comes in front of her as fast as possible so her block count is free as soon as the next enemy shows up. And dealing this much damage every 5 seconds? that'll be no problem. Not to mention the fact that it can hold 2 charges, so if she has the time to charge it up, she can use it twice in a row. Last but not least, her third skill is incredibly solid. It increases her attack interval, but that's completely fine for 2 different reasons. First one being, she usually attacks pretty quickly anyways, so this won't even slow it down to 2 seconds. And the other reason is that she won't be missing out on any attacks, since each time she will attack, it'll deal 3 hits, while also being increased by 90%. Her block count will also be increased as well, so you don't really have to worry about killing things super quickly so enemies don't leak through. Although that won't really matter when she's attacking with the skill on. It also increases her defense by 90%, which is a nice little bonus. Bagpipe is highly focused on DPS and does her job well, worth rolling for whether she's a waifu or not. Plus, I refuse to believe she wouldn't have a Scottish accent if Arknights had English voice acting, and that's definitely a plus in my book. Zima is also on this banner, and she's a Vanguard supporter, increasing all Vanguard's attack by 45% with her second skill. So if you happen to get her along with Bagpipe, using them together is a great idea. Overall, this is a super solid banner with super solid units, despite there not being an exact theme or archetype of character being added. Great new waifus and a new husbando, so if any of them interest you, definitely spare some a random for them. Thank you for watching, and I wish you the best of luck on your rolls if you choose to do so, or the best of luck on not being tempted to roll if you're saving up. I know how hard it can be. We're almost at 100 subscribers, and I know that might not be much, but I've been doing this for a little over a month now, and I'm pretty happy with that number. I appreciate all of you, and hope you continue to stick around. Once again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you another day.
So, super quick editing update. During this whole video making process, I actually gained some subscribers, which means that now I'm over 100. So thank you guys so much. Words can't express how grateful I am. Okay, that's all I wanted to say. I'll actually stop talking now.